Good morning. Today we are going to discuss modern realism. The main concept of realism is what? Law is reared and bared in the court. Law as it is in actual working and its effects can be seen in a proper manner in the court only. Okay. Now modern realism can be divided into American realism, Scandinavian realism and English realism. For English realism, who is the proponent? Salmond is the proponent. Therefore, we have seen already in the previous video about Salmond's theory, that is theory of law. That is, what is law? Law is body of rules which are recognized and applied by the state for administration of justice. Therefore, you can see that the action that is in law courts, we can see that law comes into discussion. For what? Because the objective of law is justice. Okay. Therefore, English realism means Salmond's theory. Now, we are going to see American realism and Scandinavian realism in this video. Okay. Now, these realists, what they have done? They have given a common sense approach to the legal problems. They have concentrated on actual function of the law. Okay. Now, the school, you can say this school, it revolts against the traditional way of defining the law. They are not discussing about definition. They don't give definition of law. They speak about the function of the law, how the law works. They are called as the champion of reforms. Actually, modern realism is a part of sociological school only. It can be called as a functional school. What they say, that decision of the court are not based upon the formal law, but it is based upon the human factor, that is the judge and the lawyer. Means how the judge interprets, how a judge comes to a conclusion, and also how the lawyer puts before the judge the facts. Okay, means how the lawyer explains and tells the judge how to interpret or what is the right interpretation. So everything depends upon that. According to them, law is only an official action, and therefore the forces that influence a judge in reaching to a decision, those are also very important. Maybe bribery, corruption, these aspects also come in the field of study, because those are also the factors which may affect the judgment. Okay. Now the realist, what type of technique they have used in the study of law? They study case laws. They study the inquiries into the motivation of the judge. They explain about predictability. Means we study for prediction, that what the judge will do, what the conclusion will be. Okay. Now study of variations of decisions also, means what the session court has given, on what point the session court has given importance. When the case went in appeal, it was the session judgment was overruled. How the High Court has overruled it? High Court has put stress on what points? Why High Court has come to such a type of conclusion? This study comes under the realism. Okay. So the technique in the study of law is what? Study of case law, enquiries into the motivation. Third, study of variations in the decisions, and also that is the fourth, predictability. These are the four techniques of the study of law. Okay. Now we'll see American realism. American realists were judges, so they have given importance to the decision of the judge. So what Gray says? Gray says, what is law? What judges declare. He emphasized the fact that the personality and the personal views of a judge play an important role in the decision. The personality of a judge will influence the decision. Okay. Now Justice Holmes, what he says, law is actually what courts decide. Law is not in books. Law is what the court decide. Law is not in the textbooks. Law is not in the system of reason, as in natural law it is mentioned. Real law is in the decision of the court. And while explaining this, he has brought the bad man theory. Okay. According to Holmes, suppose there is a bad man who is likely to do anything for his selfish cause. He will not care of law in the books. He will only care what the courts actually decide. Therefore, one should always view the law, the concept of law, through the eyes of bad man. These are the views of Justice Holmes. Okay, means laws are not in the books. You have to see through the eyes of the bad man. You will come to know what law is. Therefore, paper rules are not the real rules for bad man unless a decision has been arrived at by the courts. Means what the bad man will see, why the court has decided like this, what is important for court to decide, that he will check. He will not check the aspects, the provisions in the law. For example, for murder there is death penalty, isn't it? So all have to fear, all have to get deterred by that. But the bad man knows that though there is death penalty, it may happen that he may not be detected, he may not be caught. There can be flaws in evidence. How to keep flaws in evidence, that he will think. That aspect is being discussed by Justice Holmes. Okay. He has given also very much importance to courts. He says courts put life into the dead words of the statute. According to Holmes, there is a great variance between the law in books and the law in practice. Life of law has not been logic, but it has been experienced. Okay. Now these are the views of Justice Holmes, but we have to criticize him, isn't it? We have to criticize because his theory of bad man is improper. We have to attack against his bad man theory. Bad man is likely to do anything to secure his selfish interest. He will not care for law in the books, as said by Justice Holmes. But bad man is only the fraction of society. The society consists of, the major portion of society is of law-abiding men, isn't it? Therefore, bad man theory, see through the eyes of bad man, that concept is not proper. Okay. Now, his theory is not applicable to statutory law. What he says, or what these American realists tell, law is that which judges declare. Means the wrong will occur, the matter will go to the court will decide, and then the decision will become a law. Means beforehand we are not having the law. However, in practice, what do you see? There is a statutory law. Parliament makes the law, tells you that you have to keep your conduct in such a manner. If you don't do it, if you don't follow the law, then you will be punished by the court. Means first law is there, and then the matter goes to the court. But as per the American realist, law is afterwards, because it is what the judges declare. Okay. According to this theory, a rule is a rule of law if it is enforced by the court of justice. Statutory laws are laws as soon as they are passed and they are being promulgated, and they are not laws merely by the virtue of judicial recognition. Means once the president signs the bill passed in the parliament, it becomes a law. The law is made immediately by the signature, by the assent. It cannot wait for the decision given by the court. Okay. Therefore, the theory of bad man or the views of Justice Holmes are not proper. However, he has contributed also, as he says that personal factors are very much important. Gray also gives importance to these aspects. Personal factors do affect the law. This is also true. You can't deny this. Personal factors, the temperament, the upbringing of the judge, the background of the judge, the culture and economic conditions, they do affect the decision of the court. Okay. Therefore, here on this point, on this count, Justice Holmes and Justice Gray are correct. Okay. Now, legislative laws fail to cover the reality. According to realism, judge-made laws are the true laws, as they are laid down with the reference of the concerned facts and reality, because the facts come to the court. The court sees the facts and then they put life into the dead words of the statute and they give justice. Therefore, in law, when the provisions are made, they are made for the future aspects. But when the matter comes to the court, there is reality. Particular words should be interpreted accordingly to the facts of the case. We say, the circumstances of the case are going to differ, the application will also differ. We have to see all these aspects. Therefore, this is also very much important. According to realism, judge-made laws are true laws as they are laid down with reference to concerned fact and reality. Particular word should be interpreted, making it applicable to the particular case. Therefore, they put life into the dead words of the statute. Okay, this is American realism, which was propounded, or the people who have propounded it were judges. Therefore, they have given a practical approach. Now, the Scandinavian realism, the realists in Scandinavian countries were philosophers. Therefore, they have given philosophical approach. What they say, law is there only for the people who believe that law is. Many people are there who will commit an offense, but they will go undetected, they will go unpunished. For them, law is not there, isn't it? Therefore, law is there for those people who believe that law is there. Therefore, binding force of law is only magic. It is like a jugglery. You feel law is, you will follow it. For you, law is there. But at the same time, some other person, he knows that nothing will happen if the law is broken, and he will break the law. For him, law is not there. Okay, and he will go unpunished. So, for him, law is not there, isn't it? Their allegation is that the person who says that the law is in existence is in a position of a fiction. He feels law is there, for him, then the law is there. Okay. Now, what Hagestrom has stated, the concepts of law are all metaphysical concepts. All metaphysical concepts are sham concepts. They are mere word play. Therefore, it is called as jugglery. Factual basis of right does not exist in reality. If you feel that you are right, you are having basis for whatever you are telling, then you will fight better. One fights better if one believes that one has right on one side. He, however, admits the concept of right is a useful tool of thought. The concept of right is a useful tool of thought. Okay, right, duty, righteousness, these concepts are okay, are proper. But you will fight better when you will feel that you are right. If you feel that you are in a position where you are not able to think about right and wrong, then you can't fight better. It means for whom the person who feels that he is right, he is right. He will explain it in a proper manner. He will fight, he will justify whatever he wants. So everything is having justification because our aspect change as per the circumstances and as per the views of men. Okay, therefore justification is important here. Now Lundstedt said that right, duty, justice is not an observable fact. We only feel it. Therefore, what is just observable, or you can just feel it. It is not observable fact. That does not exist. It is not observable fact. Rights are not observable fact. Justice are not observable fact. You just feel it. Like you take an example of delay in giving judgment. After 14 years, after 15 years, the judge gives a judgment. You can't call it as justice because after 15 years the judgment has been given. If it would have been given immediately, then the effect, the value of the judgment would have differed. Therefore, it depends upon the feeling itself. Okay, it is not an observable fact. Nothing exists which cannot be proved as a fact. Therefore, these things cannot be proved as a fact according to Lundstedt. These Scandinavian countries, what they have done, they have given a philosophical approach, but that is also a reality. Right exists, law exists for those who feel law is there, because we have seen that the crime rate is increasing. Wrongful people do wrongs, isn't it? They don't fear for law. It means for them law is not there. Therefore, whatever they are telling, that is also little bit true. Okay, here we have completed modern realism. Okay, bye bye. See you in the next video.